Hey there, Stampin' friends. Welcome to Movie Monday with Jody Breckbell, Stampin' Queen. Today's card is going to be this gorgeous sympathy card using our Lasting Lily stamp set. This is a celebration stamp set that we have this year, and I absolutely love it. I started playing with it, and I just can't stop. It's got the detail. I think we call it delicate detail, delightfully detailed, something like that. And it is, does it say on here? No, it doesn't. But everything is made to give shading in your image, which is awesome because it looks so gorgeous and you didn't have to do anything but just put ink on it and stamp. So this is, like I said, a celebration offering. So January, February, and March, well, scratch that, February and March, because January, she's gone. And you can get this with a $100 purchase. I absolutely love the fact that we've got some great sentiments. Things are a little bit, well, they're a little bit bigger in real life. This is a big set, so we can't really show it in its full size here. So things are a little bit bigger. You'll see them whenever we start stamping. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull in my Stampin' pad because I do find sometimes with these detailed stamps that you need to have the squishy pad, which is what we call it in my studio. You need to have that, just a little bit of cushion underneath there to get that gorgeous image. I'm going to use our Fresh Fig ink, and I do want to say this is a case. I did copy this for my card buffet, and I believe it's Rhonda Wade. I'm pretty sure it was hers. So I want to make sure that I've got my lily nice and inky. And I'm just going to stamp. I want to kind of give it a little time to transfer. So I always like to kind of count to 3. And there you go. You've got that gorgeous detail in there automatically. And so we're going to do the smaller lily. Will that fit on there, or do I need to? I think I'm going to, no, it should fit on there. All right, so now we've got our 2 lilies on there. I will tell you a little bit of a hint. If your ink pads are really, really juicy, you may have I can't speak this morning. You may have trouble with the ink and the stamp because of the detail, and that's normal because you're getting a lot of ink on there, and this is a really crazy detailed stamp. So one thing is your inks erring on the side of not as juicy will give you some better images. If your ink pad is super juicy and it's not working for you, take your bone folder or a spoon or something like that and just scrape a little bit on your ink pad, and what that does is just kind of move some ink out of the way so that it's not as concentrated. Then try stamping and see what happens. Then you can always go back and you can kind of re-ink your stamp pad, and that really does make a huge difference. So one thing that I do want to share is that coming in March, we are going to have our first time ever launch of celebration coordination items. So the entire month of March, we are bringing out items for you guys to purchase, not to earn, but to purchase, that coordinate with the items that you have already earned for free during celebration. And one of them is the Lily framelets. So we have a whole set of framelets that are made to coordinate with this die set. So I did go ahead, here's some other framelets in here, and I went ahead and die cut these out ahead of time. Yes, you guys, that's awesome. No more fussy cutting. And we've also, so the stems are in here, the leaves are in here, and then we've given 2 banners that fit the size of our stamps, which is amazing. So this will be for the month of March. We also have dies coming out that coordinate with the cupcake and the frogs. And there's a little extra in the framelets, which is awesome. So those are coming out in March. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Super excited to have them. We've never done this before, and I think it's wonderful. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. I am going to take my Memento Black and I'm going to stamp my sympathy. Do a little bit in the corner here. I want to, excuse my reach there. Where's my sample? I want to make sure I'm looking at my sample for placement, just so I know about where I should be stamping this. So I've got my sympathy there. And then I pulled in some Mossy Meadow and our stems. So let's see here. I've got the small one first, and I just need to ink up just a little bit. I don't need to have the whole stem on there. And I was looking for a piece of scrap paper, but I don't have one handy. That's okay. I'm just going to stamp on my pad, and then I can wipe that one off. Then I'm going to take the bigger stem and stamp that. Now this is actually going to get cut off because your lily is going to come over top of that, but it's really not a big deal. Now I've got my leaf, this little curved leaf here, and I'm just going to catch kind of the top where it does really start to curve. That's really all that I want on there. Okay. And as always, my nose is running every time I start a video, you guys. I don't know what the deal is. So let's get this out of the way and go ahead and do a little bit of assembly. So I've got a Whisper White, piece of Whisper White cardstock here. That's going to be my card base. And then I'm going to pull in a piece of Sahara sand, and I see that I have lost my adhesive. Hold on one moment. Usually it's fairly close by. And we're going to use a piece of I think this is Floral Romance. This is in our Occasions catalog. It is so pretty, you guys. It's vellum and it's just gorgeous. Floral Romance, I'm pretty sure that's what that's called. And I'm just going to attach that. And what I do is I just put my adhesive kind of where the flowers and leaves are so that it's not really showing through too much. Just going to attach this here at the bottom, and I see my piece is a little longer than what it needs to be, so I can just very easily trim that up. No big deal. And then I'm going to attach a piece of our flax ribbon. This ribbon is super cool. Again, this is in our Occasions catalog as well. It's kind of reminds me a little bit of our burlap trim that we have, but it's got like a coating on top, like it's actually waxed. So it's almost has a little bit of shine to it. Now, what I like to do whenever I'm attaching it is I do like to put extra adhesive over top because it's kind of thick. It wants to pop off. So I do put some adhesive over the top where I tacked it around the back just to make sure that it stays on my card. All right, coming along. It looks beautiful. And oh, you guys, I just had a huge class and I'm very unprepared. So sorry, everyone. I'm also trying frantically to get ready to go away. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to do some dimensionals on here. These are just my little leftover edges. We always use those because don't throw those away. Sometimes they are the perfect size for what you need. All right, so there we go, a little bit. I think I'm going to pull that down a little because I think my lily might go over the top there. I'm not quite sure. Then I'm going to do it dimensionals on my lily as well, the big one and the little one. And then they're just going to come down and sit right over top of those stems that I created, and I can kind of do them a little off, you know, little veering to the right there as well. So there is a gorgeous, very easy, very quick sympathy card. Then of course I could stamp my sentiment on the inside as well. And I always say when you're making sympathy cards, go ahead and make a couple, just so that you have a little stash on hand, because sometimes when you need one is not always the time you really feel like stamping. So this just makes such a stunning gorgeous card and so wonderful with those framelits we have coming out now. So thanks so much for joining me, you guys. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week for Movie Monday.